All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And in today's video, we are going to take a deeper dive into Caluurion's legacy. Now, if you guys watch my channel, you know a couple weeks ago, I did a video talking about how Caluurion's got a ninja nerf / adjustment. I personally wouldn't call it a nerf. I'd call it a burf. No, I'm just kidding. It did get an adjustment, and I talked about it in that video. And if you go back and you read the comments, you see people elated and you see people upset. Some people are happy because the set hits really hard. Other people are upset because it was hitting really hard and it's not hitting as hard anymore, and now it's bad and not going to run it. All those sorts of fun things. And so we're going to do a deeper dive into Caluurion's legacy and what it now is on the PTS, and if it's still worth being used, because I'm sure a lot of you guys that have been using Caluurions and you saw the adjustment, you thought, okay, well, that's the end of that ride. Time to move on to the next one. And I'm here to say, au contraire. So for this test, we got crit chance for this for this test. We are running Caluurion's legacy, which is now as follows: crit chance, weapon and spell damage, crit chance. When you deal critical damage with a light or heavy attack, you launch a projectile at your target that deals flame, frost, shock, or disease damage and applies the respective status effect. So flame is burning status, frost is maim, shock is vulnerability, disease is defile. This effect can occur once every 5 seconds and scales off the higher of your weapon or spell damage. So used to be a 10-second cooldown, and the damage is roughly halved. So you got half the damage with half the cooldown. And so over a 10-second window, it's still going to be roughly the same damage. I saw some PvEers complain that this set is now ruined. It has no impact for you at all on higher damage parses. Like, this is next to no adjustment for you. But it is what it is. People see adjustments and they immediately think the world is ending. But yeah, we are running Markin as well. We got Clever Alchemist back bar, Balorg, and Caluurion's front bar with a precise maul. Now, I didn't change the maul, so we will have lower crit chance in PvP, probably roughly around 40%. But you see we're at 43.6% weapon crit. When we proc our nightblade passives, we jump up to just under 50%, and we'll still be around there, probably 46% weapon crit, meaning off of cooldown, our light attacks roughly half the time will crit, meaning roughly half the time off of cooldown we will be proccing Caluurion's legacy. And so I wanted to do a test on I wanted to do like a mini parse where I just light attack, surprise attack. This is going to be very similar to PvE parses right now for nightblades, where you just surprise attack spam. In all seriousness, I want to show you how often the set's going to proc. Don't look too much at the damage. Don't look too much at what that's going to be, because we do have Piercing Mark. I'm not going to be buffing with Rally. I'm not going to be buffing with Clever Alchemist. Keep in mind that damage is going to be much higher in general. We just want to see how often this condition is going to proc. And so, but yeah, that's what the test is going to be. But somebody brought it up on my channel, this change, and it wasn't me. But they brought up a good point, and I'll provide a link or a screenshot of it now. They basically said this set is very comparable to old school Viper's Sting, and I couldn't agree more. For those of you guys that don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, Viper's Sting existed during the first proc meta. It was so powerful it had to be adjusted, and so this set is very comparable to a set that previously had to be adjusted. And so old Viper Sting, I want to say, had like a 6 or 7k tooltip, something like that. It would hit for 3 or 4k. It was undodgeable, and it would happen every 4 seconds. And so basically on your weaves, like, it would just proc off cooldown, and it was a lot of added burst. Literally everybody in the game was running it. Caluurion's isn't like that. It's not undodgeable. You can block or dodge it because you got the little animation sometimes. The animation is bugged, so that's not great in this situation. So it makes it a lot harder to dodge something you don't see. It's not like a wrench where, you know, you can dodge a wrench, but yeah, if you can't see the animation that's not proccing, then you're not going to see it. And so we're going to show that as well. But this is a 1 second longer cooldown. But on top of that, although it can be dodged and blocked and those sorts of things, this also provides all these different status effects. And so so you can have up to 2 different status effects on an opponent at the same time with this. So you can have vulnerability and burning, you can have maim and disease, or maim and defile. You can have all these different things as long as you're weaving on your target. And so Anytime you're comparing a set to a set that already had to be adjusted, probably means it's pretty good. Like that'd be my default is. This is probably still a pretty good set because its closest comparison is to something that had to be nerfed. And so we're gonna weave on this for a minute. And if you look, actually, I'm gonna show you this, but if you look in the lower left hand of the screen where my mouse is at, you'll see Caluurion's Legacy cooldown. And what it's going to show is it's going to show different cooldowns of the different status effects. And so you'll see them refresh, like roughly every 6-ish, 7 seconds, or off a cooldown, it will show a new refresh marker. And so you're not always going to see the Caluurion's in proc condition because it's very buggy right now. Like it hasn't been fixed. And so it will be procking quite a bit. We do see it there, but you see we're going down to 8 seconds, 7, 6, 5, and you will see it refreshes to the burning. So we got another Caluurion's Legacy proc right there, and we're down below it again. We're gonna keep light attack weaving. We just got another proc, and we had 2 status effects going on there. And now we're gonna get off a cooldown here as well, and then we get another proc, that one refreshed. And so yeah, you see it procking quite a bit. And then we got 2 more status effects. And yeah, it is there's another proc. It is a very powerful set still. This is a there's an animation. There we go. It's still a very strong set, guys. Like this is going to apply a lot of pressure on your opponents. You guys know that for outnumbered 1vx, I build a little bit more tanky on most setups. I've been running Rallying Cry and Ethereal Ascension with stage 3 Vampire. And I'm still getting hit for 10 to 14k Caluurion's Legacy procs in this current patch. And so this current patch is very bursty in that regard. And so even though I'm building very tanky, I got a lot of crit mitigation, over 3k crit resist, and I have 35, 37k resistances, I'm still seeing 10k plus Caluurion's procs. And then you stack that with 5k Ashen Grip, and we're hitting 15 to 20k crit damage on a Nightblade that can guarantee a stun as well to ensure that all those things land. So actually we'll do this for 2 minutes so you guys can see it. But all I'm trying to say is if you can have up to 20k crit damage or 20k burst damage on proc sets this patch, and your nerf is going to drop it down to like 10 to 12, I'm playing the world's tiniest violin for you, I swear. Like 10 to 12k proc damage every 5 seconds is pretty damn good. Like it's pretty damn good, guys. So you combine that with a 10k in cap, you combine that with a spin to win on top of that, you're still taking 20k plus damage, off of somebody else's health bar. And so that was about roughly 2 minutes. Obviously the damage doesn't mean much, but let's look. Look what we got here, 2 minutes. So we got 124 seconds. Let's see how many procs we got. So we see we have different Caluurion's Legacy procs here. And so we'll just count them all up. So we got 6, 12, 16, 18. 18 Caluurion's Legacy procs in 124 seconds. So rough gorilla math. If we do 124 seconds divided by 18 procs, which is what this is, we hit one roughly every 7 seconds, just under every 7 seconds. And so a lot of pressure stacked with status effects, having an extra dot on top of that, having a lot of extra pressure. In my opinion, this set is still really good. And if you guys hear my girls playing in the background, welcome to dad life. But yeah, this set is still really good. This set is still very powerful. I would not go about deleting it. I would not go about lamenting about how weak this set is, because it's just strong in a different way. Instead of having a ton of burst, you're going to have more pressure. You're still going to have good burst because, like I said, this still lines up with Ashen Grip. They didn't change mechanically how those two function together. Like, you're still going to hit 5k Ashens. You're still going to hit this for 5 to 7k. That's still 12k proc damage. Like, maybe there's, maybe Flame Blossom's better for gankers or whatever, but you still have a lot of upfront damage, and you still have similar amounts of pressure over a 10-second window. And so, that's why we test these things. That's why we talk about it. Welcome to the new Viper Sting, Caluurion's Legacy. You never really are going to leave us. Caluurions just cannot leave us, guys. Yeah, so that's going to be the end of this video. If you guys have any questions or comments, please provide in the section below. If one of your friends laments about Caluurions getting nerfed, show them the picture of somebody playing the world's tiniest violin, and yeah, I mean, I think that's what you got to do in this situation. Maybe Mr. Krabs playing the world's tiniest violin, because it's still very good. It's still arguably the best Nightblade front bar set in the game. It's just brought down. Like, it's crazy how that happens, right? Like, you can nerf a set and it was so strong it's still the best. I think that's what we're looking at here. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.